Hey guys, so in this video we'll be discussing and solving one of my most favorite problems. So for those of you who are wondering from where I got this problem, I got this problem from algoexpert.io. So if you're preparing for your coding interviews or system designs interviews, you have algoexpert.io, and like it's a paid platform, like it's about $100 a year, but you do get 2 to 4 free questions in this, like to just check this platform out. So this is the question in the hard range. So we have a easy, medium, hard and extremely hard. So this is a question from the hard range. So let's see what this question says. So they want us to write a function that takes in an array of integers and returns an array of length 2, representing the largest range of integers contained in that array. The first number in the output array should be the first number in the range, while the second number should be the last number in the range. The range of numbers is defined as a set of numbers that come right after each other in the set of real integers. For instance, the output array 2, 6 represents the range 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, basically 2 to 6, which is a range of length 5. Note that the numbers don't need to be sorted or adjacent in the input array in order to form a range. You can assume that there will only be one largest range. So this is a very important point. They told us to assume that there will be only one largest range. Okay. Now here's a sample input. So in case I have this big array of numbers, the longest range is 0, 7, because we have 0, we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, 5, 6 and 7. But we don't have 8, do we? So 0, 7 is the longest range. So how do we solve this problem? So there are like multiple ways to solve this problem. So now the initial way that many might think about is to sort the array. So if you sort the array, you can like just keep 2 pointers, like keeping on like going forward, and like it'll be super easy to like find out the longest array. But the problem with sorting is that the time complexity becomes too high. I think it like becomes O of n square, not sure. So it like becomes too high and it's not an efficient method. However, there's one proper and efficient method to do this without sorting. So let's see how that works. Okay, so here's the basic solution to that problem. As I mentioned earlier, you could sort it, but that will not at all be efficient. So here's the basic way to solve this. Now for this problem, we'll be using a hash map. So in Python, a hash map is basically called a dictionary. So basically, for those of you who don't know what a dictionary is, like it begins with a open curly bracket and ends also with the open curly bracket. So let's say I want to put all the elements in the dictionary with value 0. So I'll have 0, 0, then have a comma, then I'll have the next element, that is 4. Oh, that's a very bad 4. I'll have 4, 0, and then I'll have 7, 0, and so on. Now it is coming as 7, 0 because I assigned it in that manner. And yeah, like it could come any other way. So now it will go from 0 all the way up to 9. I like displayed it only up to 7. So this is basically a hash map or a dictionary. So let's see what happens after this. So the basic concept is we store all the elements inside a dictionary with value 0. So 0, 0, 4, 0, 7, 0, and so on. Okay, now we go to the first element. So in this, the first element is 0, right? Now what do we do is we go towards the left of 0 and we go towards the right of 0. What is the number that comes towards the left of 0? It is -1. We'll check if -1 is in the hash map or not. If it is not in the hash map, we will like just skip it. Then we'll move towards the right. What comes after 0? After 0, 1 comes. Is 1 in the hash map? Yes, it is, because 1 is there in the elements, and since we assigned all the elements to the hash map, 1 is in the hash map or a dictionary. So since we know that 1 is in the dictionary, 0, 1 could possibly be a largest range. So now we have 1, right? Okay. So now after 1, since we found that 1 is a part of our hash map, we'll go even more towards the right, because while going right, we found 1. Now we'll go even more towards the right. Now like there's no point in going left, because we'll reach back to square 1, that is 0, right? So we'll go right. What comes after 1? After 1, 2 comes. Is 2 in the hash map? Yes, it is. Since 2 is in the elements, it's also in the hash map. So 0, 1, 2 could be a possible biggest range. Then again we'll go towards the right. What comes after 2? 3 comes after 2. Is 3 in the hash map? Yes, it is. So again 0 to 3 could be the possible biggest range. Then we'll move on to the number after 3. That's 4. Is 4 in the hash map? Yes, it is. It's there in the hash map because it's there in the elements. Then we'll move on to 5. Now see, is 5 in the hash map? No, 5 is not in the hash map. Why? 5 is not in our elements, and therefore it's not in the hash map, right? So we'll cut this part off. So we will store 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 as this could be our possibly biggest range. So we won't count 5 because 5 is not in our hash map. So as I mentioned before, the thing under 0 will be our left counter, and the thing under right, on the right, will be our right counter. So in this case, the right counter keeps on going towards the right till it finds a number that is not in the hash map. So in this case, our right pointer reached till 5, right? It reached till 5. But we know that 5 is not in the hash map. So what do? We do right counter minus 1 to reach 4, because only then can we get 0 to 4 as our biggest range. Because if we leave it like this, we'll get 0 to 5. But 5 is not in the array, so it won't make any sense. So we'll do right counter minus 1 to get 4. So now under 4 it will be our right counter. Alright, okay, so now this is the first case. So now 0 to 4 could be our biggest array, our biggest range. So now let's go on to the second number. We have 4. We'll check if in the hash map 4 is equal to 0 or not. As we know, in the hash map 4 is not equal to 0. Why? When we got here, when we got till 4, we changed the 0 to 1. So now it's basically 4:1, right? Because we first went to 0, it was there in the hash map. So in the hash map we have 0:1 now. Then we went to 1. Even 1 was in the hash map. So it went from 1:0 to 1:1. Then it went to 2. 2 was also there in the hash map. So it went from 2:0 to 2:1. Similarly, we went up till 4. 4 was there in the hash map. So it was 4:0. Now it is 4:1. So now when we go to the next element, we have to check if in the hash map it is stored as 4:0 or not. So in this case, 4 is not stored as 4:0, it's stored as 4:1, right? So we'll skip 4 because we know that 4 is already a part of some range. So we don't want to include that again. Then we'll go up to 7. Now 7 in the hash map is stored as 7:0 because we didn't come across 7 anywhere here, right? So 7 will be stored as 7:0. So now we'll go towards the left of 7 and towards the right of 7. Let's go towards the left, let's go towards the right. The left of 7 will be 7 minus 1, 6, and the right will be 7 plus 1, that will be 8. So 7 minus 1 and 7 plus 1. This will be our left counter and this will be our right counter if it comes to it. Now is 6 in the hash map? 6 is not in the array and therefore 6 is not in the hash map as well. So we'll cut the left part off. Then 8. Is 8 in the hash map? 8 is not in the array nor is it in the hash map, which means that this cannot be any possible biggest range. So now after 7 we'll move on to 2. As we know, 2 already belongs to an array, so in the hash map it will be stored as 2:1. Don't mind the 2, like you guys know it's 2, right? It will be stored as 2:1. So that won't be counted. So now after 2 what do we have? After 2 we have 1. 1 will also be stored as 1:1 because we already came across 1 in this particular range. Then we'll go to 3. 3 is also stored as 3:1 in the hash map. Why? Because we already came across it. So please keep one thing in mind. Whenever we come across any number in a range, we will change its hash map marking from 0 to 1. Remember that. Now after 3 we have 9. We have not come across 9 anywhere until now, right? Okay, so now we'll go to 9. We have 9, we can go towards the left and we can go towards the right. After 9 comes 10 and before 9 comes 8. So this will be a left counter if it comes to it and this will be the right counter if it comes to it. So as you guys know, 8 is not in the array, so it won't be in the hash map, so we can cut this part out. Then even 10 does not belong to the array, so 10 won't be in the hash map as well. Therefore we can rule this thing out. So what did we conclude from this? From this we concluded that 0 to 4 is the longest array, the longest range within this array. So we should print out 0:4 as the answer, right? We should print out 0:4. So now that's basically it for the explanation. It's actually a simple problem, though it might take some time to understand. Anyways, now let's go into the coding aspect of this. Okay, so let's move on to the coding part of this. So if you remember from my explanation, we are supposed to start by building a dictionary or a hash map. So I'll name this as hash map equal to let's say x:0, that's O for x in array. So basically what this does is if I can spell that right. Okay, so this will basically store all the elements of our array inside a dictionary. Alright, so now we can have a loop. Now I'll just put in for number in hash map. So you could also put in for number in array, since both hash map and array contain the same elements now. So we'll first check if hash map number is equal to 0. So this basically checks if the value of the element in the hash map is 0, because if it is 1, it means that it belongs to some other array, right? Okay, so if the number in the hash map is 0, only then we have to continue. So we can do left counter equal to number minus 1 because we have to move left, and then right counter equals to number plus 1 because we have to move right. So now let's move on to the while statements. So we can just do while left counter in hash map. Okay, so why am I doing this? I am doing this because I want to first check if left counter is there in the hash map. Basically I want to check if left counter is there in the array, right? Because if left counter is not there in the array, there is no point of checking it, right? So yeah, so we want the left counter to be in the hash map, only then we can continue. So if it's there in the hash map, we have to first mark, then we saw it. So we can do hash map of left counter equal to 1. So I'll update the value from 0 to 1. Then we want to keep on moving left, right? So left counter minus equal to 1. So now in case it reaches a point in which the number is not there in the hash map, we want left counter to go forward, right? So we'll do left counter plus equals 1. So for example, I'm just like giving a very simple example now. Now in case we have 2 comma 5. So now we have 5 in the array, the array and the hash map, right? So now let's say, okay, so now let's say for example now the left counter is at 5. So when it does left counter minus equals 1, left counter will go from 5 to 2. But we know that 2 doesn't belong to the hash map or the array. So we want the previous value, right? So we do left counter plus equals 1 to get 5. So we'll keep the left counter as 5 because in case this is the biggest range, it should begin from 5, right? Okay, simple enough. Now we'll do this the same thing for the right counter. You have to first check if the right counter is there in the hash map or array. So I'll just do if it's there in the hash map. So I can you have to mark it that we saw it if it's there in the hash map. Right counter equal to 1. Then right counter will keep on going 0, right? So right counter will keep on going left. So right counter plus equals 1. Let me bring this a bit more down. Okay, so now in case it reaches a point that it's not there in the hash map, it should go one step left in this case since it's going right. So I'll just do right counter minus equals 1. Okay, now we'll use I'll use two variables here. Now I'll say why I'm using this. So I use left equals right equals 0. So now let's say I'm going to do if right minus left less than or equal to right counter minus left counter. Then what do you have? I want the left value to get updated as to get updated to left counter, and I want the right value to get updated to right counter. Okay, so let me say why I did this, and in the end we can return left comma right. Okay, so just suppose we have an array which has 2 or more continuous ranges in them. All right, so let's say we have a first range, let's say from 2 to 6, and a second range from 7 to 15. As we all know, the range from 2 to 6 will be smaller than the range from 7 to 15, right? So let's just read the question once again. We want to print out the largest range, not the smallest, but the largest one. So we have to choose the largest range. So how do we do that? So let's say, suppose, so now I'm just keeping this as 0, left equals right equals 0. Like I'll say why now. So when this program runs for the first time, what will happen is, if right minus left is less than or equal to right counter minus left counter. So if 0 minus 0 is less than or equal to right counter. So in case the array we are assuming is 2 comma 6, it will be 6 minus 2, that is 4. So 0 is less than 4. So we'll again occupy the value. So the value of left will go to 2 and the value of right will go to 6. So now when it runs again, in case it finds another range, let's say 7 to 15, how will we know which one is bigger? So now we update the value of left and right. So now if right minus left, so 6 minus 2, that's 4, is less than or equal to, when if we are assuming the range 7 to 15, it will be 15 minus 7, that is 8. So 4 is less than 8. So we can say that, so we can update the value of left and right. So left equals 7 and right equals 8. Therefore we found the biggest range, right? So similarly, if there's a range bigger than this, like it will again get updated. So yeah, that's basically it for this program. Then we finally return the left and right values, the starting and ending values. Let's run it. Whoa, we got an error. Okay, let's see what the error is. Oh, I misspelled hash map. That always happens. Okay, let's submit again. And there you go, it is right. It passed all of the test cases. So that's basically it for this video. Now if you guys have any doubts, please take the diagram in which I explained next to you and like just compare that to what I did. So that's it for this video. In the next video I will come up with more problems like these, like these, if you guys like it and want more of it. So yeah, that's it for this video, and bye.